Thank you. Just in time for more scary tales. Make sure you're not watching them in the dark or alone. And curl up with your favorite blanket, or you might have your own nightmares. This one comes back from all the way from my childhood. Looking back now as an adult, I realized that there was a lot of peculiar happenings in my past. Whether there be just knocked up to be children fantasies, or whether actual hauntings going on in my old house. Who could know? Maybe it's just a child's imagination. But here we're ready for some spooky tales. I hope that you are ready and prepared. I have 3 spooky tales to regale you about from my childhood that distinctly stick out. There's probably more, but these 3 in particular are, I feel like, enough to where they kind of combine. It all happened in the same house. I was under the age of, how old are 3rd graders? Under the age of 8? I was under the age of 8, so, and it all happened in this house. I never experienced this amount of weird things in my memories besides that. So first off, we can call this a game of hide and seek. So I lived on, let me give you guys a little backstory about how my life was as a child. I grew up on a hilltop. We had a lot of land, farmland. We had lots of farm animals, cattle. We lived in this little house. And we had added on to this house. It had like the main room where you walked in, like all the main stuff in the beginning where you enter the house. And then as you go down the hallway, that was where there was bathrooms and bedrooms, office, all of that. And my parents had added on to our house and had added on to the house, and they had added their own bedroom. There is a spider on the floor right there. Get a tissue right now.
I see it.
I'm keeping my eye on it. Get it, just get it. Don't stare at it, kill it.
You will curl its legs up.
It's scared. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, make sure it's dead.
Ah,
Oh, you're an asshole! Oh my gosh. Back to what I was saying before, there was a spider in this room. There was their bedroom, master bathroom, and then there was stairs that led up to a loft that my parents used for like sewing and crafts and other things like that. I didn't have a lot of friends who would come over and play at my house when I was under the age of 8. But we did have a set of family friends and that I would spend a lot of time with. My parents' friends had a daughter, that was the same age as me, and then she had a little sister, and they would all come over and we'd play, and the parents would all spend time together, eat and drink, and have fun and do whatever they did. And so we decided that we were going to, after dinner, we were going to play some hide and seek. So my friend and I decided that we would be the seekers and that her little sister would go and hide. And so everybody's off in the main room chatting and eating and doing whatever. And so we count and we go off to look for her. And we sweep the house up and down. It's not a large house. We weren't allowed to go outside or anything. It's the front side of the house where there's not a lot of hiding spots. You know, that's where the adults are. And look around there. And then we go down the hallway. There's only one hallway and one way in and one way out to all of those rooms down there. And we go down and we sweep all the rooms. And we just, for the life of us, we can't find her. We've looked everywhere under like every nook and cranny, and we can't find her. And so we go out to the dining room, which it was right in front of where the hallway was that led down to all the bedrooms. And we asked the parents, we're like, have you seen her little sister? We're playing hide and seek, we can't find her. And they're like, no, I haven't seen. And right as we are asking, out the corner of our eye, we see somebody run down the hallway, and we hear somebody giggling and laughing. And so they're like, oh, the parents even like say, oh, there she is, go get her. And so we sprint down and we watch this little girl run into my parents' bedroom. And so we sprint in there and we spend maybe another 10-20 minutes sweeping the room. It's not a very large room, but looking up the stairs, looking in the closet, in the bathroom, in the bedroom, and we still cannot find her little sister. There's no way she could have gone past us, and we saw her go in that room, and we can't find her anywhere. And so finally we call out, and we're like, we give up. Like, where are you? And we hear her call from my room, which is across the hall. And so we go back in the room, and this whole time, she was hiding in my closet. And she swears, even to this day, she never left that closet. But me and my friend and our parents all heard and saw a little girl run into my parents' bedroom. And to this day, no one says any different. And there's no way that she could have left that bedroom without us seeing. And yet, she wasn't in there. So that was super scary. And after I got older, I started thinking, wow, that was really creepy. And I would tell that story. And then I started thinking and realizing that there were other strange circumstances that happened on that property as well. And so when I was little, very, very little, I used to still sleep in my parents' bedroom. And in their bed faced where the stairs up to the loft were, and every night my parents would be asleep, and I would see someone in a red robe that would start at the top of the stairs and slowly walk down the stairs and disappear by the time he got to the bottom. And this was not just a one-time occurrence. It happened over and over and over again. And I would tell my parents about it. Obviously, they just thought I was like dreaming or having like a weird sleep paralysis or whatever. And then when I started sleeping in my own room, I wasn't allowed to have my door closed. And so the door was always open. And where my bed sat in the corner of the room, I could see directly into the hallway and then across into the bathroom. And I would literally, you can ask any like of my family members who were around when I was a child, my parents, I had horrible night terrors and horrible nightmares as a child. I would like cry and not want to go to sleep. I would cry and have nightmares. It was just nonstop horrible nightmares. And I realized that was only when we lived in that house. And I would see into that bathroom when I would be laying in bed, and I would just stare into that bathroom, and there was always this tall, like dark silhouette of a man, a slender man, just like standing in that bathroom. And I would cry and I would cry, and my parents would come look and turn the lights on, and there would be nothing there. And this occurred for years. I always swore that there was someone in that bathroom. And I never could close my door, and I could always see right into that room, and I would always see that man. Well, years go by, and I'm just like chatting with my mom about like weird things and how I think that maybe our house was haunted when we lived in Washington when I was a child. And she's like, and I was asking her if anything weird ever happened. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, but haha, it's not like anybody died on the property. And she's like, oh, well, technically somebody did die on the property. And I'm like, oh, so we had this neighbor. He's very short and obviously didn't fit the description of the man that I would always see. Well, his family had lived there for years, and they had subdivided the property, and that's who we had bought the farm from. We had bought a piece of their land, and apparently his brother had died on the property, and he didn't look at all like his brother. He was very short, not the same build as him, and his brother was very tall and slender. He always had a hat on too, and pictures of him, he had that hat on. And so I found out that the person that I always saw as a child may be the person that actually died on our property. So that's nice. But yeah, it was really silly. I'm like, of course it couldn't be. Like, he doesn't look like our neighbor. And he's like, oh, and my mom's like, oh, well, his brother didn't really look like him. He looked like this. And I'm like, wow. That is lovely. So, as you can see, our house was pretty spoopy when I was little. And now I really wonder if it was just my child's imagination or if there actually were some spoopy events going on there. Not to mention, this is a side note, speaking of spiders on the floor, that house was infested with spiders. We would bomb it and we would do like everything, like bug bomb it, whatever, do all these things, and they would go away for a little bit and then come back. And we had like brown recluses and hobo spiders, and they were horrible. And every time I went into that same bathroom, there was always one in the corner. You'd kill it, and then like an hour later there was another one in that corner again. They were just like literally endless spiders in there. And they're the type of spiders that come at you and they're like, you see them on the floor and you think, oh wow, spider, it's scared of you. No, 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 no. They stand up their little front legs and then they scurry at you. You can drop a freaking like shoebox with shoes in it on them, and then you pick it up and it'll still keep running at you. Those things are aggressive. So anyway, side story. You got a gross story about spiders on top of that. But anyway, those are some 3 little spoops that I had during my time when I lived in Washington as a child. I hope you enjoyed. And if you guys are enjoying the content and the spoopy stories during this October season, make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell button so you can keep up to date and see what next scary stories I have in store for you. I hope you all have an amazing Halloween, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!